Martin Luther King Jr. a.ssa.ssination, YouTube s.hooting 5 Things You Need to Know Wednesday. On the night of April 4, 1968, a news bulletin shook the USA to its core. Martin Luther King Jr., the most visible and important leader of the civil rights movement, was dead, killed by an assassin's bullet in Memphis at the age of 39. Of the many tumultuous events of 1968, the King assassination was one of the most earth-shattering. The news touched off race riots in Washington, D.C., Chicago and dozens of other cities, causing damage that took decades to repair. Memphis is marking the anniversary this week with a host of events. At 6:01 p.m. court Wednesday, the time of King's death, a historic church bell near the Lorraine Motel balcony where King was shot will toll 39 times. Authorities will continue their investigation Wednesday into why a woman opened fire at YouTube's headquarters in Northern California before apparently killing herself in a chaotic scene that left 4 injured. San Bruno Police identified Nasim Najafi Aghdam, 39, of San Diego, as the suspect. It's unclear what, if any, connection she had to YouTube, which is owned by Google. Female mass shooters are rare. Just 6% of mass killing suspects in the U.S. are women, according to Behind the Bloodshed, a USA Today analysis. Classes will be canceled for a third day Wednesday as Oklahoma teachers continue to rally to demand higher pay and education funding, a cause that also recently engulfed West Virginia, Kentucky and Arizona. Oklahoma teachers won raises last week averaging 16%, or $6,100. The first pay increase for some educators in a decade, under legislation signed by Republican Governor Mary Fallin. But that wasn't enough to prevent a walkout that brought about 20,000 teachers, students and other supporters to the Oklahoma Capitol. The strike closed the 10 largest school districts in the state, with at least 234,000 students combined. A new Memphis historical marker to be dedicated Wednesday will tell the whole story about Confederate General Nathan Bedford Forrest and the antebellum slave trade. The new marker, sponsored by Calvary Episcopal Church, Rhodes College and the National Park Service, lies near a 1955 historical marker for Forrest's early home. The 1955 marker notes that Forrest's business enterprises made him wealthy, but fails to mention that his primary business was slave trading. Forrest went on to be a general in the Confederate Army, as well as the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Prince Philip, 96, will have a planned hip surgery Wednesday just weeks before Prince Harry and fiancée Meghan Markle are set to marry at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. It was not an emergency as Philip's hospitalizations often have been in the last half-dozen years. Philip's hip problems caused him to miss several public events in recent weeks, including a pre-Easter church service in Windsor. So will Queen Elizabeth II's husband make it to the church on time for the royal wedding? You can probably bet he will.